Hello everybody, my name is Swaggy, and welcome back to yet another question time. Last week we were hating. On certain cards in Vanguard that we just found abysmal to play against. But today I wanted to be a little bit more positive. Vanguard has some of the best art of any TCG. Probably. And we all have some that are just a little too special to us for one reason or another. So, today I asked you, what's your favorite art in all of Vanguard? And I also asked you what your story was behind liking that art. Art is a subjective experience, and not everyone has the same experience with one piece of art as another. So, I also wanted to know what your story was behind liking those arts. For me, I picked the SIR of Drajeweled. In case you don't know, in Special Series 11, there were a ton of these SIR arts based on the ending of Will Dress Season 2. And I really liked the Drajeweled art, so I wanted to pick one up. So for this, I found a seller, and the seller only had one across the country, and I had to visit their aunt's flat to pick it up from them because they weren't there physically. And my partner, who wasn't my partner at the time, followed me to pick it up all across the country. And I remember thinking to myself, boy, she's such a great friend to me. So because of that day has a lot of significance to me, and so does this artwork. And for what it's worth, the art itself also looks really good. I think the purples look really nice, contrasted with the yellows. I think it's just an all-around fantastic visual. But I can't deny that the emotional sentimentality is what is making this my favorite piece of art. So let's see what you guys came up with. And we do have a lot of answers today, so if I don't get to you, my bad. But I've made sure that I've linked the YouTube post and the Twitter thread in my description below so that you can check out all these amazing artworks and all these stories from a bunch of different people. Sapphire here says that this is the final Vanguard Zero alt art, which is their favorite. They went on a whole quest a few months ago to find a decent quality image since it was only around for a month on the JP side. It's not perfect because the source image is a little squished, but they unsquished it the best they could, and look at this piece of art. Can you imagine if we had a couple more pixels on this one? This looks fantastic. I didn't even know Vanguard Zero did alt arts. This is insane. Also goes to show that all this digital media that we have nowadays, like movies and games, all have this incredible content inside that we're not going to be able to get once the service shuts down, so do your best to preserve all these great images. ESP says Grave Zorga. His design is her favorite of all the Zorgas. Plus, they have a ton of fun details that you notice the more you study it. Plus, this is the deck that she bought with her first ever paycheck, and it got her to try locals, so it means a lot to her. This is what I mean by stories and experiences are what color your appreciation of art. While obviously Grave Zorga looks great, it is definitely the experience of having this being your first deck that you go into locals with that makes it all the more fun and all the more enjoyable to look back on a piece of art like this. And not to be like this is probably the best looking Zorga we have so far. You know, once they make the upgraded Zorga, Nadir will have a better one for sure. Any minute now. Apples here says, this artwork of Chaos Breaker Crisis is locked up in Bushiroad's vault and it's not even legal for play. Why is this not legal for play? This looks insane! What I'm also learning from this is how much art I don't know exists of Vanguard. I kind of stopped midway through G a bit after that, and I definitely didn't keep up a lot of the V artworks, but this is, oh my gosh. Vanguard Zero Championship 2022 Winter, I guess this is a prize card? This is incredible. There's so much fantastic art that Vanguard has that's just kind of locked away for no reason. Just print it en masse. Give us like a collector's edition or something. Come on. Sheriff here says that the entire style of Orphist and the Cardinals came at the perfect time for me. Going into uni and just wanting to be different as I addressed my mental state more and move away from everything high school and prior, I got to have a fresh start with a new deck I adored too. I share a pretty similar sentiment actually. One of the first decks I bought the Orphis deck set coming back into Standard because I thought he looked cool. So it's great to see that this is a universal experience people have with Orphist. The only problem I kind of have with Orphis art from like a visual perspective is that for the longest time, I could not tell what was on the card. It just looked like a bunch of colors. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not doing a great job showing this because I'm zooming in on what is already a pretty blurry image. But, like, I can't really tell what's going on with Orphist over here. What's up, man? I can just kind of barely make out the scythe, but maybe my eyes are just bad. Vexcavate says that this is my all-time favorite art in Cardfight Vanguard history. It was so raw and ferocious. It's also the first Team League deck I played with friends. Oh my god, the reverse units look amazing. And Ethics Buster Reverse is one of the cooler ones. I think he just looks a lot more, I don't know, evil? I don't know how to explain it. Like, this is what a child draws up when they think this is my edgy, dark OC of Ethics Buster Extreme. And he's got more power, and he has the gateway to Hell's Infinity finishing move. And that's not even a criticism of the art. It looks sick as hell! Well, I think the mask units we have now are pretty cool. Something about the reverse units corrupting some of our favorite Vanguards back in the day was something to behold. Another SIR art. Leonor here because Will Dress Season 2 plus the ED the art comes from means a lot of things to them. And on top of Leonor being so pretty and amazing, I love her so much. The Leonor SIR is a very beautiful piece of work. She's a lot more pale than I thought she was. Isn't Leonor like a little tan in the animation? But nevertheless, I think this is a really pretty piece of artwork. It's surprising to me because when my partner bought Leonor, and she bought the full deck in itself, the ride deck came with the SIR Leonor, and she asked me to get the original artwork because she liked that more. And to me, that was so insane. Look at how beautiful this card looks. I marched in her parade, and I'm much happier for it. Many such cases with Leonor's parade. Thank you so much for that answer. Beast Deities. Not really the name I'd expect. Azim says, Battle Siren Adelaide for me personally. Sirens were relegated to solely being support in the game's lore, but me being fascinated with mermaids ever since I was a kid, I loved them and they drew me into the game alongside Bermuda Triangle. I hope I get to see her again in Standard, maybe. Well, when that Thavas deck set comes out, you'll be first in line. And he's right, there are now the Argo Sirens who function as the Vanguard too, but this is one of the specific ones I really like as an answer because it's a grade 2 rearguard. And I think a lot of people don't realize just how nice the rearguard art can look in this game. Something that is kind of innocuous to you as a card that you retire on your opponent's field can mean a lot to someone who's playing it, and this is a great example of that. Almost 10 years with my husband. Thank you, Rising Nova's wife, for posting Rising Nova. You know, that makes sense. I can understand that. Gorgeous Tama says, I just think it's beautiful. From the pencil-drawn aesthetic to the cold blue drawing and bright colors and the detail on top of it, I just find it very stylized and so beautiful to look at. It is shocking how nice the new Morphonica cards look. When I got into the game late standard and I saw the Morphonica cards, I thought this game was ass. Like they were just JPEGs they slapped onto the card, right? Like from the show. It was very Weiss Schwartz-like and it really turned me off a lot of collab decks. But the new kind of art style that the Morphonica cards have now, even the non-high rare versions look incredible. Like they look like they're really a part of the game. And honestly, this is one of the best arts in modern memory. I agree. Just look at how it's something I can't really articulate well because I don't have any technical ability in art, but it's just something that looks pleasant. It's something that's very calming to you. She's pretty. Well, good as answer as any. I love you, Apoc Maker. Me too, man. I love Apoc Maker Dragon so much. I feel like early Gear Chronicle, they were really experimenting with what kind of design philosophy they wanted for their units, and I really liked the old like Fate Riders and Apoc Makers with this like brown greenish tint. It gave it a very rustic steampunk feel to it that I just really like, and I feel like we don't see that very often in the new cards. I guess maybe you kind of see it in Odium, but it's just not as pronounced as this guy. I mean, just look at it. Alicia, 100% correct. This DSR, fantastic art. I think a lot of the DSR art could come into this category of favorite arts because for a lot of people, that's where they have the anime character they like, and they get to see their favorite unit in a different pose than the usual. Even though I do prefer the SIR art in general for Viamon's Bruce, when I play Viamon's Bruce, I'm still rocking the DSR as my ride line, even though it's kind of off-putting, just because I do think it's a really cool way to look at Bruce. I mean, I guess, you give it a bit of time for you EN players, you'll have him. Definitely cheating, cause there's 2 of them here, and you are cheating. To jail! But this is so peak. Hikey wish this became a Legion rare for set 9. I'm surprised they didn't do a regular Legion rare for set 9. That was insane to me. Like, why did they do that? Why did Braven get the Legion rare? But no, a lot of the Legion arts are fantastic. I didn't get a lot of Legion art responses here. I think I got one other Tachikaze one. But it's surprising to me because when you match the full art together, all the Legion rares look fantastic. And I'm never gonna forget playing around the guard break as a kid. That seemed like such an insane skill to have, and they should bring it back. I often choose my decks based on the art, so during G, the one that caught my attention was Kotonoha, so I built Amaruda as my first max tune deck in G. Again, just yet another great answer that is a rear guard. Put more attention on those guys. Look at your rear guards carefully. Some of these are really pretty. Something about the old Genesis arts, those are just real nice. In my comment section, Frost Lantern says, there might be objectively prettier cards, but I do think Amnesty Messiah was the first high rare card I saw as a kid, and TBH, it looks so good it sent me down the Link Joker rabbit hole, so it's pretty special to me. First of all, Amnesty Messiah does look great. In SCR, oh my god. Secondly, I do have a specific Amnesty Messiah story. Because when I was a kid, one of the first G decks I had was just taking 2 of the Messiah trial decks and smashing them together. And the obvious thing to get from that position was Amnesty Messiah. The only problem was I was a child and Amnesty Messiah cost $30. So try telling your parents to buy you a trading card for $30. See how that goes for you. But I could never really afford it, and like her, I also thought one day in the far-flung future I will have my own copy of Amnesty Messiah and it'll be great. And I got that chance with the Amnesty Messiah. That was not as good of an experience as I thought it would be. I'm putting these 2 together because they're just trigger units. They don't even have text on them. This is a Trigger Sentinel, one of the old ones in the V series, I believe, Cosmic Hero Grand Beat. And over here is the draw trigger for Keter Sanctuary, which gains the shield, which I'm just now looking at is a woman. I thought it was a little boy. But the reason why I highlight these is just that, again, even your trigger art, don't take those for granted. And the second reason why I bring that up is because I think we should have more trigger arts for the effect triggers in Standard. Give them all the same name if you have to, but just give me more different variations. I just want to use like an animal in my Stoichia deck for front triggers instead of the Banshee. Real untapped market here, Bushiroad. You can make a lot of money here. Even the common artworks are beautiful. This should have been at least a double rare. I don't even know what card this is, but I agree, this card looked great. I guess one of the sad things is that if your card is low rarity, it tends to get boggled down with a really bad effect, and you're never gonna see it in a shiny form. But look through your common pile, you really might find a nice piece of art in there. I know a lot of the recent Standard cards are kind of pack filler, but they all have incredible art that are just trapped on text that says gain 5,000 power. But take a look at those. I don't know why, but Gavrail's art has always caught my eye when I would browse through my locals binders at the beginning of my Vanguard journey, even when I was not thinking of ever playing Jiva. Eventually, I decided to pick up the deck after finishing the anime. All the overdressed cards are so nice, with the little border around them. They look fantastic. Gavrail is one of the cooler ones. I think it's one of the more aggressive that Virina ever looks. Normally, not that Virina doesn't look aggressive already because he has like guns and shit, but there's something very, I don't know what the word is, feral about this one. Like the way the teeth, the way his mask kind of shows like a tooth of a dragon, and the fact that he has two big swords. This is one of the more aggressive looking Virinas, and I do appreciate it for that. And I think this is the first cross overdress unit we got in the anime, right? This is like the win card that Yu uses. Yeah, I don't know. This is a good answer. I like it. Javier says, when they announced the SEC version, I decided that I really wanted to have it, and fortunately my family helped me get it. So many of these high rare cards or like nice looking cards are the expensive ones, and sometimes it takes a village to fund your trading card obsession. For one of my teenage birthdays, I believe that my friend group at the time, they gathered all their funds so that they could afford me Spectral Blaster Diablo, and that is also a piece of art that holds a very special place in my heart. Sometimes it really is people coming together, understanding what you like, and trying to come up with a way to get it for you. That's a labor of love, and I think it creates a lot of sentiment in your artworks. Alright, now for the part I hate the most, the YouTube thread, because I have to put in the pictures on my own. Green Jeweled Beast Almadar is mine, says Critical to Win 2019. I love the green cat. I've made him my phone wallpaper and will force him into any Stoichia deck that needs soul. The cats are so cute, and it always boggles my mind that we don't have a reprint of those. I think they tried to make like a secondary version with the set 5 in Divine Z Cyclers, but those are not the kitty cats. They're adorable. Don't you want to just smother your hands on the cheeks of Amethyst and make them countercharge you one? Like, come on, it's so cute. VM1's Bruce SEC is very, very cool. Patrick, I'm highlighting this answer for 2 reasons. 1, I'm a big Bruce fan. 2, this is the only Bruce art I do not own in the VM1's line. I own the FFR, I own the Triple Rare, I own the SIR, I'm just missing the SEC. If anybody out there has it for a good price or wants to trade a Dissection Angel or something for it, let me know. Please. Alright, begging over. Moving on. The Astral Plane Marker. Even the plane markers have shooters? That's incredible. Easiest answer of all time. Taking you to the G era for this once is tired as always, but it's gotta be Daybreak Sharaharot. I used to sneak down to a laptop in the living room just to play Vanguard on a crusty ass site that's taken down now because my brain liked how the colors interacted. Banger red and blacks. Man, in the 2010s, people did anything to play Vanguard, especially if you didn't live in an area that had a lot of Vanguard. I'm very fortunate to live in an area where Vanguard is a pretty popular game, but I understand that in a lot of places, like in the West, it isn't. And I think a lot of people were going out of their way to play Vanguard on just the worst sites imaginable, like fucking CFA looked like shit back then. I think it still looks like shit now, which is why I don't do anything on it. But I think a lot of people did a lot to play Vanguard, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the art looks great. And red and black is a very easy color scheme to put together because it makes anything look edgy and powerful. And to Bushiroad's credit, it worked every time. I don't think there's a single card in this game with the red and black color scheme that looks bad. So, those are some of my favorite answers from this thread. Again, a lot of people have a lot of great stories and artworks that they have attached to their favorite cards, so please check those out in the thread below in the YouTube post, and I'll link both of them in the description. So, what can we take away from this? Art is an important part of the human condition, not just Vanguard in general. These beautiful artworks are made by talented individuals on the card production side that we get to experience when they get into our hands. And not only do we get to experience card art in the form of gameplay, we also get to experience it in the form of how it interacts with other people. Hearing someone say, wow, that looks great, or hearing your stories today about people who got cards for you, or how it connected you to the world of Vanguard or world of trading card games in general, is something that you can't really get anywhere else other than with cool art like this. I hope this video did some good justice to the answers here, and of course I hope that you all found a new card to gush over, or at least got to appreciate some of the artwork you may have overlooked for some rear guards or some Vanguards you don't typically look at. Okay, now I'm going to show you a bunch of stranger answers, so bye bye! Thank you Tuscarphobia for Feet Bulbamine. Thanks Chiaki for posting Fenrir abs. Wait, oh my god, look at these things, what the hell? You can like grind meat on those, what? Thank you Rat Fucker for posting thighs.